the statement of the Kashak on the 67th anniversary of the Tibetan National Uprising Day. Today marks the 67th anniversary of the 1959 Tibetan National Uprising, when Tibetans from all three provinces, monastics and lay people alike, rose in unison with indomitable courage in Tibet's capital, Lhasa, to protest the illegal invasion by the People's Republic of China and to safeguard the person of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama from imminent threat. On this solemn occasion, the Kashak pays its deepest tribute to all the martyrs who made the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of Tibet, its faith, and its people, and stands in unwavering solidarity with our brothers and sisters inside Tibet, whose resolve to preserve our distinct national identity remains as unyielding as Mount Meru, even in the face of relentless oppression by the government of People's Republic of China. Today, this year, we celebrated His Holiness' 90th birthday, and we celebrate the whole year as the Year of Compassion. And as part of those celebrations, we have been inviting quite a number of distinguished guests from all parts of the world, starting from July last year, organized by the Department of Information and International Relations and the offices of Tibet around the world. And today we have Michael Brandt, who is an old friend. He was here in Dharamsala last year 2 times. And this time when I was in the United States, I was receiving this call that he wants to come for 10th March. Then I asked him, you were there 2 times last year, so why you decided to come for this 10th March? And he said, don't you think a sitting Secretary of State of the German government to attend the 10th March program would be a good idea? Then I said, there's no argument, please do come. So thank you for being here. Mikhail is a Secretary of State in Germany, is like Deputy Minister here in India. So he's in the government, but still representing his support for Tibet here. Thank you again. And then we have Dr. Hans-Gert Pottering, who have been with the Tibetans for a very long time. He was the President of European Parliament. And when he was the President of European Parliament, His Holiness used to visit. And this morning also we had a very good audience with all the guests with His Holiness. Thank you again, Mr. Pottering, for coming 2 years ago and also addressing the International Tibet Support Group the last time, and this time coming for the 10th March program. And then my old friend, no, he's not so old, he's my friend, Jiří Oberpfalzer. He's the Vice President of the Czech Senate, and he has been visiting us almost every year. Last December, we had another official Czech Senate delegation on His Holiness receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. And this time, Jiří, along with another Jiří, Senator Jiří Dušek, is also here from Czech Republic. And we all know President Václav Havel was the first president, a sitting president, to invite His Holiness to the Czech Republic. And President Peter Pavel, the sitting president of Czech Republic, was a sitting president who came all the way to India to meet with His Holiness last July in Ladakh. So we enjoy a very strong relationship with Czech Republic and with its government. Then Dr. Hans-Gert Pottering, of course, we have from our member of parliament from Latvia. Juris Willems have been associated for Tibet in Latvia for many years. Of course, as we all know, His Holiness used to travel to Riga almost every year to give teachings, Buddhist teachings in Riga, in Latvia. And they have been very fortunate to meet with His Holiness that many times and been supportive They have also suffered the same fate as we did, so they have the experience of having gone through communism. And then one of our very old and dear friend, Dr. Indresh Kumarji. I personally have known him since 2002, but he has been associated with CTA in the Tibet cause for many more years, more than that. And he established Bharat Tibet Sahayog Manch, Himalaya Parivar, and all these organizations who are still very active in. Then may I also welcome Dr. Webke Winter, a member of Legislative Assembly from Germany. She's a young politician, a bright politician, and she's traveling here to Dharamsala for the first time. This is her first experience being with a large Tibetan community. Welcome, Dr. Webke. So Dr. Pottering is also accompanied by Dr. Adrian Huck, who is the director of Conrad International, sitting somewhere. And then Michael, we have Elima Ham, staff of ICT Germany, Michelle Gass, assistant, Kai Müller, executive director, Brian Joseph from National Endowment for Democracy, and Pema Tulosang. Then we have Yanis, of course, they are also part of the 32 Tibet support group. Miss Cheng Lai is sitting somewhere. Oh, can you please stand up for people to see who you are? Yeah. Cheng Lai visited China and she got arrested by the Chinese authorities, and this became a big diplomatic issue between the People's Republic of China and the Australian government. Finally, she did manage to come out of China, but now she cannot go back. But fortunately, we have her as a guest for the 10th March ceremony. Thank you for coming. And also from Australia, Dr. Badio Chow, political cartoonist and human rights activist, Chinese activist. He's also, he looks a little bit like Ai Weiwei because he also follows Ai Weiwei. There, yeah. Miss Alais Parma, she's also coming for the first time. And it was quite a surprise because she decided at the last minute to come. And we are really looking forward to work with her in Italy. She's also a member of the state parliament in Italy. And her partner, Mr. Osano Matteo. And we have, among Indian friends, I can't name everybody, but we have Dr. Professor Anand Kumar, Vijay Kranti, Surendra Kumar. Yeah. So we have many Indian friends who are part of the special international, from all parts of India. And we also have Senator Rice, here on my left. She is still very active in Australian politics and keeps supporting the Tibet, the cause of Tibet in Australia. And she has been there for us for a very long time. Thank you all very much. If I have, and Indresh Kumarji is also accompanied by Mr. Om Prakash. So if I've left any names, I'm sorry because there are too many names to be named. So please pardon me. So I'll continue with the Kashak speech. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here with us. Last year, in conjunction with the auspicious celebration of the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Kashak launched the Year of Compassion. Through this continued observance, we seek to extend to the global family His Holiness' profound treatises on compassion and foster its spirit while cultivating the wisdom to attain happiness and alleviate the sufferings of all sentient beings. This initiative seeks, to the fullest extent of our ability, to share His Holiness' sacred counsel in fulfilling humanity's shared aspiration for the physical world to abide in the elemental balance and for sentient beings in its essence to remain in tranquility and peace. One thing in which we can firmly anchor our trust and conviction is His Holiness' profound treatises on compassion. As Jamgon Mipham explains in his commentary on the words of Chandra, the power of compassion lies in never abandoning the endeavor to protect all sentient beings. Thus, His Holiness' all-encompassing compassion and unyielding commitment to the welfare of all will sooner or later pacify the hostility and the malice of the PRC government and its leaders and guide them towards friendship. At present, the government of the People's Republic of China is falsely asserting that Tibet and all non-Han nationalities are part of the constructed Songhua Minzu. It is mobilizing under the proclaimed mandate of forging a strong sense of community for the Chinese nation, the full machinery of the state, to carry out the expansive and deeply entrenched policies within Tibet aimed at eradicating both Tibet's physical environment and its people's distinct national identity. Specifically, around 1 million Tibetan children have been forcibly placed on colonial boarding schools, where the teaching of the Tibetan language and the transmission of Tibetan culture are severely restricted. Within these institutions, Tibetan children are subjected to intensive political indoctrination under Communist Party ideology. The United Nations, the United States, the European Union, and the leading international research institutions have recognized this policy as a form of forced assimilation and a systematic effort to erode Tibetan national identity. The PRC government is executing large-scale forced relocation of labor transfer targeting Tibetan farmers and nomads through programs such as Training and Labor Transfer Action Plan. A joint statement released by a group of UN experts on 22nd January 2026 reveals that between 2000 and 2025, some 3.36 million Tibetans, nearly half of the total population, have been affected by these programs. In further highlighting the severity of these state-led efforts, noting that in many cases the coercive elements are so severe that they may amount to forcible transfer and or enslavement as crimes against humanity. C. The United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, in its 2025 report, stated that the PRC government's implementation of the policy of Sinicization of Tibetan Buddhism represents a systematic pattern of repression that fully meets the definition of cultural genocide. D. Currently, the PRC government is deliberately and increasingly misinterpreting its own constitution and through administrative orders and subordinate regulations, implementing sweeping measures that roll back and effectively nullify the rights of nationalities guaranteed under the Constitution and the law on regional national autonomy. E. Against the backdrop of the global warming, the Chinese government's reckless infrastructure development and large-scale resource mining projects have caused temperatures on the Tibetan plateau to rise at 3 times the global average. The Methok hydropower project, launched last year alongside hydropower projects on major and mid-sized rivers, and the blanketing of vast landscapes with solar arrays not only devastates the ecosystem of the Tibetan Plateau, but continues to pose a direct threat to the water security of the Asian continent. Coupled with these projects, the settlement of millions of Han Chinese in Tibetan areas and the forcible relocation of Tibetans resulting from these projects will undeniably threaten the survival of their distinct identity and the sustainability of their livelihoods. F. In brief, the United Nations and the international community have determined that the policies currently being implemented in Tibet by the People's Republic of China's Communist government, as outlined above, meet the criteria defined in Article 2 of the United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, which entered into force on 12 January 1951. And consequently, it's imperative that the prosecution be pursued in accordance with the provisions of Article 3 of the Convention. Meanwhile, it has become a routine practice for the Chinese government to arrest, detain, and imprison those who refuse to comply with or who protest against their genocidal policies. Nevertheless, it can reasonably be foreseen that the policies pursued by the leaders of the government of People's Republic of China, employing centuries-old colonialist tradition to annihilate both the environment and the people of Tibet, will ultimately fail. Since countless eons, the reckless devastation of the Tibetan Plateau, a strategic geopolitical region also known as the water tower of Asia, does not merely impact the 2 billion people who depend on Tibet's rivers, but also threatens the interests of the entire world in a collective. It does not affect only Asia, but also impacts 2 billion people who directly or indirectly depend on rivers that originate from Tibet. But it also threatens the interests of the entire world in a collective effort to confront the global climate crisis. Since countless eons past, the land of snow has been held in the sacred embrace of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of infinite compassion, who awakened the bodhicitta aspiration to take Tibet as his field of disciples. Through the emanation of the Bodhisattva progenitor monkey, he first propagated the Tibetan people, and then thereafter, through immeasurable bodhisattva emanations as kings and ministers, has held in protection the welfare of the Tibet and its people, and continues to do so. Having solemnly vowed with his 1,000 arms and 1,000 eyes never to forsake Tibet and its people for as long as eons endure, it's absolutely certain that the destructive designs of the PRC government, bound to a crumbling communist ideology to utterly destroy Tibet and its people, will never succeed. Tibet has never been a part of China since ancient times, and is rather a nation under the illegal occupation of the Communist People's Republic of China. The fact that the question of Tibet is not an internal affair of China, but rather an unresolved international conflict, has been clearly established in the promoting a resolution to the Tibet-China Dispute Act enacted by the US government. Regarding the reincarnation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the international community, through around 134 formal announcements, including legislations, resolutions, and declarations, categorically rejects the PRC's so-called 3 conditions put forth in complete disregard for religious tradition and with an abandonment of political morality, and asserts a unified stance of non-recognition. Nevertheless, the People's Republic of China continues to push its malicious agenda inside Tibet and China, China. Alongside its intensifying propaganda campaigns, the People's Republic of Chinese government is exploiting its state-appointed pension Gyaltsen Nobo and a handful of lamas and monks through staged meetings and scripted speeches. It is certain that such orchestrated attempts will never be accepted by anyone, neither now nor at any point in the future. In conclusion, we earnestly pray for His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet to live for eons and for the spontaneous fulfillment of all his sacred aspirations, including the Four Noble Commitments. May the auspicious day soon dawn when His Holiness makes his rightful return to the Potala Palace and Tibetans inside and outside Tibet collectively dwell in spiritual bliss. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumar.